Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor in Paradise. Hey, guys, review. We've got a live stream coming up today at 3 p.m. It's going to be a quick one. That's Pacific Standard Time. I got a stand-up show tonight in West Hollywood I have to run off to. In the meantime, we've got a story here. Becca Kufrin and Garrett are back in the news. And by news, I mean each other's Instagram stories. Oh, boy. I had someone message me the other day and say, hey, Dave, how do you decide what sort of content to make? And it's like, look, some people in Bachelor Nation just know how to drive traffic. Becca Kufrin drives traffic. She's Queen Bee. When she showed up to Bachelor in Paradise this week, everyone was fangirling over her. Someone said she looked like the rich aunt. You know, she was because she's been in the, in the Bachelor universe for so long. Do me a favor, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into this story. So we've got. I can't believe it's only been 1 year, but Garrett and Becca broke up. This is his new girlfriend of 1 year. They broke up a year ago. At least that's when they made it public. As we know, Garrett had liked some, some memes that were racist, nationalistic. I don't even know. You go Google it. It's a whole thing. Maybe some like All Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. It was one of the something your uncle would post. Okay, we've all got an uncle where we're like, oh gosh, don't make me comment, no, and then you have to comment, and next thing you know, you're at Thanksgiving like, please pass the biscuits and don't look me in the eyes. All right, so Garrett, there he is. Look, Garrett and Becca were a good little match there, but some of their philosophies just didn't line up. We made so many videos about this. Like, can you date someone that has different political views than you do? Maybe in the past, but right now that would be kind of hard to do in our country. We are, we are in a place, folks. We're in a mood, as the kids say. So Garrett posted this. He goes, happy 1 year anniversary. We met in Carlsbad and are now living together in Reno, which, by the way, is the perfect place for Garrett to live if you know Reno. He says, I remember our first date. And of course, Colton Underwood hearts it at the bottom there, Vinny Vincent. So it was actually 1 year ago. Yesterday was the first time Becca posted about their breakup. So did they make it official? Was there overlap? It's almost like either Garrett got, and again, completely fine, fair, who cares really? But they got together like right after Becca and him broke up, or what might have happened is Becca and Garrett broke up and for several months didn't mention it because that was the 2-year timeline for them to keep the Neal Lane ring. So maybe they decided, look, let's not mention the breakup until we're safe and in the clear for this $100,000 ring. Excuse me. I feel like this would be a bad Hallmark movie that I want to write, where like a couple breaks up, but they have to pretend to be together for 2 months so they can keep the $100,000 ring because they won it on a game show. Anyway, never trust somebody whose teeth are this white. Let me tell you something right here. What is going on with these teeth? They're looking so good. So anyway, I'm happy for him. Good, whatever. She does yoga. Namaste. Away from Becca, though. So he posts that. He posts his anniversary on the same date that they broke up. And, I guess you're supposed to remember these things, right?
Let's see. We can get rid of...
That's not it. Wrong one. Sorry. So then we've got over here, Becca responds to this. Now, let me tell you something. If you scorn a lady, especially a white lady, she is going to respond with some quotes, okay? That is the white lady way of stabbing you back, posting a good old quote on the gram. Sometimes, I think of you sometimes, but not in the same way. Not in the way you would desire and hope. Not in a way of reliving and reminiscing. Not in a romantic or longing sense, but more in a sense of relief and gratitude. You were the lesson I needed to get to where I am today. Burn. Burn. And then she goes, this. I love it. This. Anyway, good for her or whatever. I don't know. Then let's see if I got the comments. That's not the right one. So then some people were posting. Oh, hold on. We're going to get to it. So she posts this. Can you click on the link there? Let's see the full post. Let's see if there's anything for the full post here. You can't force people to treat you right. All you can do is manage your proximity to them. So saying how you feel will never ruin a real connection. Date a good listener. Scar, what was that? Fall in love with your solitude. That's called, Katie Thurston knows something about having a friend for solitude. Not anymore, though, Katie. We're happy for you. That's a vibrator joke. Date yourself first. Another vibrator joke. Fully charged. Get out the power strip. You know you're at peace when you no longer wait around for people who are unsure about you. If their actions and words constantly do not align, stop wasting your time. All right, I don't know if these are all meant for Garrett or just that first one. I fell in love with the idea of you. Now that I see you, I don't know what all the fuss was about. All right, is that it? protect your heart at all costs. Okay, they got them all. You got them all. Becca shares that. So Becca's in a love triangle, right? She's moved on from Garrett. She's like, peace out, next, some sort of like Taylor Swift song. And then, but, her runner-up to Garrett was Blake. So when Becca and Garrett broke up, everyone's like, all right, bring Blake back. Just bring him back. Why not? You had a thing. He cried and, at the altar or whatever. Go back. So the thing with Blake is interesting, right? They had they were together for a birthday party. It was kind of dodgy, and Blake feels like Becca may have sort of thrown him under the bus. So let's just read this post here and see what they said. On the last Behind the Rose episode, Blake and Eric, his co-host, talked about Becca denying that the producers had anything to do with them not being together. So she has her response, and then he responds. So again, hang out, stay with me on this one. I know I'm just filler noise for your background. I'm just like the pulse and I'm part of your life here. You don't even care what I post as long as it's something to do with Bachelor Nation and it's juicy. And I'm going to feed you guys that drug of choice. So here is a grocery store Joe and Natasha calling Becca. And here's what she had to say. So, because Blake was like, hey, yeah, we were talking. Blake was like, we were talking. And where I come from, talking means hooking up and nothing too seriously. So here's what she has to say in response.
In terms of the talking, quote unquote, we've been in touch very sporadically, but nothing that I would say would warrant. I think the channels are very misleading. That conversation he had seemed very misleading, but nothing that would warrant a potential relationship.
Did you listen to the podcast when he was talking about you guys?
I listened to bits and pieces. So I actually, my phone was blowing up that morning. I had my friends and my family were reaching out and they're like, are you and Blake together? What's going on? What's happening? And I had no idea. So of course, I looked into the articles and I listened to some of the podcasts, not all of it, just because I tune out and get way too spacey. But it was interesting for me as a listener.
Okay, so just basically so they've always kept in touch, but they weren't talking romantically before the show is what I'm getting at.
So Joe says you guys were talking before the show, but not romantically is what he's getting from you.
By the way, this is a $100,000 podcast they have right here, and they don't even have a connection to Skype her in. Oh, it's fine, technology. So Joe has to relay the questions to Natasha, and then she relays them to Becca. Oh, boy.
Correct. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like I said, Blake and I have always been on great terms. We've been friends for a while. It's no shock because I've done his podcast. He came on my tour when I was touring for a few shows.
Touring.
Yeah, so nothing romantic that I think people should be running with right now.
All right, so Becca says nothing's going on there. And, that's the sound of somebody who's in a relationship. When you're in a relationship, you got to be like, oh, yeah, that was nothing. You kind of got to, you don't want to make your current person freak out of your past relations, maybe. Is Becca with so-and-so? And if so, is she minimizing her previous relationship with Blake? What kind of Nicholas Sparks saga is this? Will Becca and Blake ever get back together? Somebody tell me. All right, so here's Blake's response to this. And if none of this makes any sense to you, you got to go back and watch some old videos because we've kind of been commenting back and forth on this whole Blake and Becca journey. Are they friends? Will there be a day when Blake wants to settle down and really pursue her? What if he really did pursue her? Maybe did they bump Harrison's? Did they sling spades? Did they spike coconuts? Maybe they lanced a bass or two. What happened?
Obviously, Blake,
response.
you went on a few outlets a couple weeks ago, talked about you and Becca leading up to Paradise, the relationship you had. Obviously, it wasn't a secret. You went out there, hung out. You guys went to dinner as a group. Kendall was there. And you guys obviously did hang out in LA. And then she comes on Clickbait last week with Joe and Natasha. I don't know if she was blindsided by it, but Natasha FaceTimes her right in the middle of the show. And Natasha obviously asked her a couple questions and she kind of laughs it off. You and her talking prior. And is there anything you might want to hold anyone accountable for?
Yeah. So, good question. And trust me, my DM, I bet your DMs were bad too because my DMs were bad.
Boy, the echo is horrible.
Honestly, at this point,
put a blanket down on your floor.
I don't know if I even want to waste my breath. Like, I just feel like at this point, it's a waste of time, you know? Like, yeah, I was hurt by the podcast. I don't think that's any secret. And like I said, there's no secret that we were hanging out prior, you know? Like, I don't think it was like some secret. Like, it wasn't at all. More than anything, you know, I was hurt by it. But hey, it is what it is. I think the people, my friends, certainly know the truth. I think most of the people in Bachelor world know the truth. Her friends, sure as shit, know the truth. So it's like, It is what it is. I think, you know, listen, I don't think, the one thing I'm going to say is, you know, maybe Becca's protecting something or someone. And
breaking news. It is what it is. Becca is protecting something or someone.
For that, I respect her for that. But it just sucks that, like, it happened the way it did. But that's honestly, I'm just never going to talk about her again, because anytime I do, shit gets written and everything, and it just gets everything blown out of proportion. So the fucking podcast hurt, and it really hurt, but it is what it is. Moving on. At least I know now. So
boy, that's the sound of somebody who's not moving on. You know, you ever hear something? It is what it is. Moving on, bro. You're not. Gotta go. Moving on. Won't talk about it again. So anyway, as I was saying, what she did was
moving on. But yeah,
I'm just getting, as your boy and stuff and brother, man, like, I just hate fucking people seeing, like, I feel like you're that low hanging fruit to just fucking jab at.
I know, man. And sometimes I want to jab back, but this time it's just not.
And we always try to take the high road.
I know, I try.
For sure. Like, this is, if you listen to our show, like, we're definitely not like trying to spill tea and like throw people under the bus, especially like my industry, like what I've come through. Relationships are the most important thing. And I cherish and value relationships, and not trying to fucking destroy relationships. Like,
Amen,
there's no point in that.
Yeah. And I think I agree with you, dude. I think me and Eric both, we take pride, and BTR in general, we take pride in not dragging people. Like, Eric has seen me at my absolute worst when I was going through what I was going through. He was there for me. So like, we both know what it's like being in the public eye and then having people ruin it. So we always try and lift people up in this podcast, and we're not going to stop doing that. All
right, well, there he is. There you have it. Breaking news. Blake going to take the high road after mentioning it on his podcast. Now, I've always thought Blake's a good guy. He's a sensitive guy. So I'm going to assume that Blake, because listen, Becca's got more to lose because she's in a relationship, whereas Blake's single. So Blake's kind of like a wild card. He's like, look, her and I, we were talking, whatever you want to call it. Like, clearly they had something going on. She goes on Paradise. He doesn't. She meets a guy who might be taller than Blake, if you want to piece things together. And because of that, Blake's like, look, hey, we had a thing. We were talking, doing a thing. And she's like, oh, no, he misrepresented what it is. And in Blake's mind, he's like, misrepresented? I went down on you, or whatever the case might be. He didn't get that far, but I'm just saying, he was talking like, I got receipts. We made a video together. We did a TikTok, whatever the case may be. All right. I say whatever the case may be when I have no idea what I'm talking about. All right. So whatever the case may be, this was a video all about nothing. Becca clearly is a catch. Garrett's still posting. Although, I mean, look, Garrett, for the most part, moved on, but it still is a little dodgy, I would say, that Garrett posted this on the day or whatever. I mean, imagine if you're Garrett's girlfriend and like you're like, oh, it's our anniversary, and then you find out that your anniversary is also the anniversary of the same exact day, not just the same day in the cycle, but the same day ever that he broke up with his other girl. You're like, all right, I got to do the math. Get the what's it called, an incubus? What's it called? Get out the calculator. Losing my mind, folks. Get the calculator out. I'm doing the math. She's like, I'm a yogi. I'm not really a mathematician. But did you start dating me the day you broke up with her? Like, what's the deal? He's like, no, honey, the Neal Lane was involved. It was a contract. It was a whole thing. Either way, moving on from Garrett, someone had commented this, and I'll just say this to end it with, that the way to take the high road is not to post, a quote about your ex the next day. Like, that's not the way to take the high road, saying what Becca did. But it's like, whatever. Let her take her jab. Move on. The best way to, get over somebody is to just live your best life. And it looks like Becca's doing that now. But, where's the justice for Blake in all of this? Like they were saying, he's just a low-hanging fruit they keep beating down as they drive by him. Let's get Blake some love, huh? What do you say? Let's find Blake some love. Question for you guys. Is Blake in the running to be the next Bachelor? With all that's going on here, you might say, hey, Blake, you want to be the next Bachelor? You want to go move on and meet some new people? Or is he not over Becca? Which may be the case too. Love sucks, folks. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Live stream 3 p.m. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.